I think that both Clint Eastwood and John Carlin are trying to convey the same message of equality so that everyone will have equal rights and equal education. In the book, the message is relayed really quickly, but in the movie, it takes a lot longer to be presented. And then in the novel it also talks a lot more about the apartheid and why equality is needed in South Africa, so they are relayed differently. So the movie didn't realize all the characters were very well, and it took a lot longer to figure out who they actually were, and it was a bit confusing at times to know who everyone was and to know what their job was or like what they did in the movie. In a way, it changes the significance of the book because in the movie the actors can't portray every emotion or feeling um, or the way the like Nelson Mandela really is acting because they have to portray it in a more comedic or entertaining way because of the fact that it's a movie and you have to keep people entertained. But the characters relayed the message well. So in the movie, Francois Pinier was not a big character at all. He was only mentioned a few times, but in the movie, he was one of the main characters, and he was what the movie was set on. Also, in the novels, there was a lot of characters, just like side characters, but you also heard a lot about those characters. But in the movie, there was only like one or two side characters, but you didn't know much about them. So you didn't get much detail in the movie, but you got a lot of detail in the book. I don't think that there was any efforts to modernize the movie adaptation of the novel because they wanted it to seem as real as possible. There may have been like comedic things added that maybe wasn't a thing when it really happened, but a lot of the stuff in there didn't seem modernized. I didn't notice anything new, but I did notice that his jail time was cut out of the movie, and also other little things like the players, like the other players, they weren't there wasn't much information about them, and then also his friends being in jail as well, or like the raids. They also weren't in the movie, but they were in the novel. In the movie, there was not that much detail, which is expected. And there's also nothing about Nelson Mandela's jail time, but in the book, there was a pretty decent part of the novel, which was about his jail time. And then also, in the movie, the point of view is more of Francois and Mandela's point of view, but in the novel, it was the author's point of view. I think that the shift from a novel to the movie does shift the conflict to a more external conflict because they have to make it more comedic and more entertaining for the audience. So it has to be like the conflict has to change